Hello, and welcome to today's briefing. I'm Dana, and I'm joined by Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. Good morning, Dana.
Let's start with some breaking news. President Trump recently stated that he plans to declare the Strait of Hormuz a U.S. territory after the conflict with Iran ends.
That's a pretty significant statement. What exactly did Trump say about this?
According to the reports, Trump said, "Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States after the Iran war is resolved. The Strait of Hormuz is a critical waterway for global oil shipments."
Declaring it a U.S. territory would be a major escalation. Has there been any reaction from Iran or other countries in the region?
The reports indicate that Iran denies U.S. control over the strait, and there hasn't been an official response yet. However, this statement comes amid heightened tensions and recent attacks on vessels in the strait.
That's right. I saw that there was another attack on an ADNOC vessel recently. Can you tell me more about that incident?
Yes, a tanker owned by Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, ADNOC, was attacked while transiting the Strait of Hormuz. This is reportedly the third such attack on Abu Dhabi vessels in less than a week, with no injuries reported.
These attacks are certainly concerning. Has the UAE or the U.S. said anything about who they believe is responsible?
The UAE has previously accused Iran of being behind the attacks. The U.S. has also vowed to cripple Iran's economy with further sanctions in response to these incidents.
This is getting more complicated by the day. Moving on to some other news, I heard that India's Prime Minister Modi has announced some new initiatives for the youth. What's the story there?
Prime Minister Modi announced that the government will provide free online coaching lessons for competitive exams and AI training. This is aimed at easing the financial burden on families and enhancing employability.
That sounds like a significant investment in human capital. Was this in response to any particular issue or protest?
Yes, it comes weeks after massive youth-led protests forced the education minister to resign. The initiative is seen as a way to address some of the grievances raised during those protests.
It's interesting to see how governments are responding to youth concerns. Shifting gears a bit, there was a shooting at Virginia State University. What do we know about that incident?
Early Saturday, there was a shooting involving multiple suspects at Virginia State University, resulting in 5 people being shot. The campus was locked down and police are investigating.
That's very disturbing. Have the police given any updates on the suspects or the condition of the victims?
The lockdown was lifted after about 9 a.m., and county police reported that one victim was in critical condition. The investigation is ongoing, with multiple suspects involved.
Let's hope they catch the perpetrators soon. In other news, there was a controversy involving the Bar Council of India and Nalsar. What happened there?
The BCI chairman, Manan Kumar Mishra, apologized to law students after criticism over his remarks and a letter related to Nalsar graduates. The controversy involved a temporary enrollment block for Nalsar students.
Apologies can help ease tensions. Did he explain his previous actions or remarks?
Mishra expressed regret for any hurt feelings caused and emphasized listening to students with patience and respect. He highlighted the independence of informed young citizens and their right to express views.
That's a positive step. Moving on to U.S. politics, what's new with the Democratic Party's primary calendar for 2028? I heard there are some changes.
The Democratic National Committee approved a new primary calendar that prioritizes states with significant Black and Latino populations, as well as union members. South Carolina will be the first primary state, followed by Nevada.
That's a strategic move to ensure candidates appeal to diverse voter bases. How does this change the traditional primary dynamics?
By starting in South Carolina and Nevada, the party is focusing on regions with higher diversity and labor influence, potentially shifting candidate strategies and messaging.
That makes sense. Let's discuss some economic news. What's on the agenda for Wall Street this week?
Major retailers like Home Depot, Target, Lowe's, and Walmart will be reporting their earnings. Additionally, the minutes from the Federal Reserve's most recent meeting will be released.
Earnings reports from these big retailers can give us insights into consumer spending. Are there any specific figures or guidance we're expecting?
Bank of America thinks investors should look beyond the usual same-store sales figures for Walmart, suggesting other metrics might be more telling.
That's a good point. In other economic news, there's been an update on the Port of Montreal expansion. Can you tell me more about that?
The $2.3 billion expansion project is now underway, with construction beginning on a new wharf. This is part of a broader nation-building effort by the Canadian government.
That's a significant investment. How will this expansion impact trade and the local economy?
The project is expected to enhance the Port of Montreal's capacity and efficiency, potentially boosting trade and economic activity in the region.
And in legal news, there's been a development regarding digital ad taxes. What happened?
The Maryland Tax Court struck down the state's digital ad tax, ruling that it violates the Federal Internet Tax Freedom Act and the First Amendment. The court also ordered refunds to affected companies like Apple and Google.
That's a significant ruling. What are the implications for other states considering similar taxes?
This ruling could set a precedent, potentially influencing other jurisdictions to reevaluate their digital ad tax policies.
Let's switch to some sports news. I heard the Chicago White Sox had a good game recently.
Miguel Zargas homered twice, and the White Sox beat the Detroit Tigers 9-5. Tristan Peters and Munetaka Murakami also hit home runs, contributing to the win.
That's impressive. How does this victory affect the White Sox standings?
The win extended their AL Central lead over the Tigers. The White Sox are performing well this season.
In other sports news, there's been a significant contract extension. Can you tell me more about that?
The Pittsburgh Steelers signed defensive tackle Keanu Benton to a 4-year, $72 million extension, making him the highest-paid interior defensive lineman in franchise history.
That's a big deal for the Steelers. How does this signing impact their defensive strategy?
Securing Benton long-term strengthens their defensive line, providing stability and potentially enhancing their overall defensive capabilities.
Let's talk about some recent transfers in football. I heard Ferran Torres has joined PSG.
Yes, Ferran Torres signed with Paris Saint-Germain from Barcelona on a contract until 2031. The transfer fee was reportedly around €50 million.
That's a significant signing for PSG. How does Torres fit into their strategy?
Torres' addition bolsters PSG's attack, joining a star-studded lineup. His World Cup winning experience is a valuable asset.
In entertainment news, there's been a passing of a notable figure. Can you tell me more about that?
Mark Rydell, known for directing On Golden Pond, passed away at 97. He was Oscar-nominated and had a significant career in film.
That's a loss for the film community. What are some of his notable works?
Besides On Golden Pond, Rydell directed other notable films. His daughter, Amy Rydell, confirmed he died of natural causes.
Let's discuss some recent box office performances. How did Avo Rappan 2 perform on its opening day?
Ava Rappan 2 opened with Rs 21.50 crore net in India, significantly outperforming Bhatwara 1947, which earned 5.75 crore.
That's a big difference. What factors contributed to Avo Rappan 2's strong opening?
The film benefited from positive word of mouth and the audience's eagerness to see Emran Hashmi back on screen.
In other entertainment news, there's been some legal action involving Selena Gomez. What's the story there?
Selena Gomez is seeking to dismiss fraud claims related to her mental health startup, Wondermind. Her attorney called the claims baseless.
What are the allegations against her?
Investors accused Gomez of failing to deliver on promises to promote Wondermind using her celebrity influence.
That's a serious allegation. How is Gomez responding to these claims?
Gomez's team is vigorously defending against the allegations, seeking to have the claims dismissed.
That's a serious allegation. Finally, let's touch on some upcoming projects in entertainment. I heard there are some big casting announcements for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Adam Driver will play Mr. Sinister, and Inde Navarrete will play Rogue in the upcoming X-Men rebuild. This was announced at Disney's D23 presentation.
That's exciting for MCU fans. How does this casting fit into the larger X-Men storyline?
The X-Men reboot is expected to integrate these characters into the MCU, potentially exploring new storylines and dynamics.
And lastly, how did Bhatwara 1947 perform on its opening day? I saw it was overshadowed by Avo Rappan 2.
Bhatwara 1947 opened to Rs 5.75 crore net in India, which is modest compared to other recent films like Border 2 and Godar 2.
That's a relatively low opening. What are the factors that might have contributed to this?
The film faced strong competition from Ava Rappan 2, and it might not have resonated as strongly with audiences despite positive reviews.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for joining me, Dana.
Thank you, Matt. It's been a pleasure discussing these stories with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.